Hi everyone and welcome back to Chess for Charity. In this video, I'm going to show you a super cool puzzle that I saw on chess.com and I just really want to share it because it's so amazing. So the last move was king takes a4 and it's white to move. See if you can find the winning continuation here for white. It is a lot of fun. So if you can find it, great job to you. Before I share the solution, let me quickly encourage you to subscribe. Just recall that half of my income goes directly to charity, so every subscriber, every like, every view helps me out a lot. Okay, let's get started here. So notice that the king is currently blocked off, right? This king is blocked off by the white king, and this square is their only square that they could ever escape to, if they want to escape. Okay, so look at the couple of checks that I have, right? In general, it's good to look at checks. It's good to look at forcing moves, something like that. So let's talk about a couple of ideas here. You have a few checks. Let's look at knight b6 check. If you do that, king has one move. And it might look like I'm winning a knight, or it might look like I'm winning a rook, but it doesn't really work because after knight takes c4, I can just take this or I can take this. I think either way, I think I take this, right? Yeah, just take that. And what else? How do you do anything? If you do this, this is not a win for white. I could always give these pawns up and it's going to be a draw. So that's a draw for black. So if I do that and I go anywhere else, is there a different variation? I'm threatening this. So you can't defend this really and get anywhere. So there's not really another variation here. If you want to go around, you hang your rook. And I also have rook c2 check. That looks a little scary. So knight b6 is a check that we can rule out. Okay. What about we have two knights here that can give check on c5. One of these variations I thought was so cool. So knight e to c5 check. So is this good or bad? They have one move, two moves, two possibilities. If they play king b5, bishop a6 is kind of a killer because now I'm attacking this and you have to do what? You have to run away. And now I can take on c4 and these two are holding each other together and this is going to be a win for white. May seem a little annoying. a4 is the first move that the computer suggests, but bishop d3, you have to kind of protect one of these knights probably and then move it, but that's a more technical win, but it's going to be a win. Just to see a couple of sample lines here. King d6 to kind of keep your king attached to both. King f1, I think where you're going to go is you're going to go here, or you're going to go somewhere else to try to give check. And if you stay within this, yeah, bishop h3 works. Bishop g2 even works. And then if you play back, yeah, now I defend this. I'm going to move this guy. And this is fine. This is totally fine. You play a3, there's no harm here. Knight d3 is going to be enough. Okay, that's a long variation. Just want to kind of show the point. So if I play here and you move the king out, you will lose. That's the point, right? But if you take with the rook, you're fine. You don't lose. Knight takes c5 check. The king comes back out. I'm attacking this, and you have to move it. You want to go knight b3? I take it, right? You want to go somewhere like out here? I take it. So where do you go? Want to go back? Let's just say you go to knight b7. I play king b6. I'm trying to run my king and just disrupt your pieces. This is a draw. Cool. What about the other knight? And this is where the variation really gets amazing. So stick around here. This is where you want to see it. Knight on d to c5 check. Now you might say, what's the difference here? Can't I just do the same thing? Let's look. So if the king comes out like before, I still have this bishop a6 move, right? And that's not really going to change much. King c6, this is a nice move, holds everything together. If you want to take here, this is not a problem. I can mate, well, I can't really mate with these against the supercomputer, but in general, a person who knows what they're doing can mate with a knight and a bishop. I'm like a little bit under 2,000. I would say my rating's about 2,000, and I have a hard time with the knight and bishop mate. Every other mate I can do pretty fine, but the knight and bishop just keep getting me. Either way, one day we'll learn that. We'll get really good at it. So you're winning that. So instead of the king coming out, what if the king stays here and you go for this rook takes c5 move? Well, if I take here, is this going to be a draw or a win? Well, just like before, this will be a draw because you have nowhere to go. So you might ask me, what's the difference here? Here's the difference. Bishop d7 check. What is that doing? That's attacking your king. Your king cannot run away. So you have to throw a piece in the middle of it. You have to put a piece here, either the knight or the rook. Let's just really quickly, just for the sake of the beauty of this, let's just look at both. You put the rook here. Knight takes d4. You are almost stalemated. You can't move the rook. You can't move the king. You can't move your a-pawn. You have only one move, b3. In which case, I play king b2. And again, you have one move, king b4. And now I can take. And just knight takes is fine. And that's going to be a win. Again, bishop and knight. This is completely winning for white, if you know what you're doing. Okay, what about if the knight interposes? Just super, super cool stuff here. This is one of the reasons why I made this video. Can you see the only sequence that wins here? Well, you might see the first move. Knight takes c5. But after king b5, what are you doing? If you move out of the way, you go to any of these places, the king moves and the pin is broken, and you're not going to win with just a knight. There's only one move here. It's incredible. Knight to a4. Look at that move. So the idea here is if you take it, that's checkmate because you just put yourself in the corner. And if you don't take it, you're still pinned because you can't get out of it. If you go, I don't know, here or here, I just take that. Look at the geometry of this. Just take a second and look at the aesthetic beauty of this position. Look at this. Look at the way that everything works together. It's just amazing. This is one of the ways that I love chess. This is all part of why I love chess so much. Okay, so that's the move that would win in that case. So like I was saying, that's if they take, and that's one of the reasons that it would win. So what do you do here if you're black? Do you move the king out or do you take? Well, I just showed what happens when you move the king out, right? You move the king out and you play here and you lose this. And if you take, the key idea is to not take like I just took. Instead, the key idea is to play bishop d7 check. And that forces black to put something in the way. And then it's a zugzwang situation where you move and you just let them exhaust their only move and they're going to have this piece lost. Just to be sure that it's clear, in the other variation, if I were to play the other knight, the knight on E, you no longer can go here, right? That's the difference, in case I didn't say that explicitly. But with this knight, you can go here, right? Just the little details in chess that it's just astounding. So after this move, so this is, again, the puzzle starts when they take. And you have to figure out how to win this. So knight d to c5 check, and just an incredible sequence. I don't know about you, but when I saw this move, when I saw knight to a3, knight to a4, I lost my mind. This move was not even on my radar at all. So hopefully you enjoy that. I'll leave the position right here. I just want to leave it there, and I'll just let the video ride out on that. If you enjoyed this and you learned something, let me know in the comments. Engage with me. I love talking to the chess community. You are all awesome, and it's just awesome to interact with everybody. I really appreciate it. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much. Bye.